Hello, I'm Shelley Rothus, and I'm a different kind of victim. Today's topic: why didn't you report it? You could have saved so many other people from it happening to. Ah, well, many people will say that after somebody was assaulted. In any way, whether it is sexual assault, just physical assault, verbal, any type of abuse. So, why is that? Why do so many victims not report being assaulted? We mainly focus on sexual assault within the mental health field. Well, that's why I'm changing it to domestic violence culture. Not just rape culture, domestic violence culture. So, why is that? Why don't victims want to report? Well, the first reason that we think of is the shame of it. They think, well, it was my fault. I feel so awful about myself. I must be a weak person. Just like I felt about being in toxic relationships. As I've stated with the condition normalized victimization syndrome, is nobody wants to admit that they've been in toxic relationships. So, what else is it? Why don't we want to report? I've learned that by my own personal experience. I was raped when I was 15 and then also again at 16. Guess what? I didn't report those two. So, I got a lot of backlash even many years later. People telling me, why didn't you report it? Oh my God, I would have reported it. I would have gotten them in jail and blah, blah, blah. I myself actually did tell somebody when I was 15, and that happened to be my sibling who was my older sister. And guess what? She didn't believe me. I honestly was ashamed that it happened to me because of how I felt based upon my morals about sexual intercourse. I always seen it as a bonding with somebody that you loved, and it was very special to me. And I always wanted to save myself for somebody that I actually loved. And that's just how I was. Yeah, I got made fun of. Let's believe it or not, my nickname that people would call me, even in high school, even when I'm in my 30s in college, was Shelley with the whacked out morals. That's right. People didn't understand me because I didn't want to just do it with anybody. So I would date people and people would be like, wow, you're a tease. You haven't had sex with them. You've been dating them for how long and you didn't have sex with them yet? Oh my goodness. Like, I'm a horrible girlfriend. Okay, so let's go back to the topic of why didn't you report it? So, based on my personal experience with the first time it happened when I was 15, my own sibling didn't believe me. And actually, they went to the rapist's home, who they didn't even know, and asked them if they raped me. Now, what rapist is going to say, yeah, I raped her? Give me a break. So, punishment. I had gone over the topic of punishment of the victim. And that was based upon how people abandon the victim as to who that victim entrusted to stand by their side. And this can happen in any type of abuse. And it hurts no matter what type of abuse. And that's something that I'm trying to teach based upon domestic violence. And why I changed it to domestic violence culture. Because with all the types of abuse that I've been through, there were more people that didn't believe it and actually shamed me for it and actually continued the abuse and upped it. Such as the other times recently within the place that I'm living at, I've been bullied based upon the assaults that happened to me, including friends who encouraged and enabled that abuse happening to me. So I'll go by the time that I was spit on by the person who ended up stalking and harassing me. I was actually abandoned by friends just by that. Not only the assault that happened before that. So, people ask me, why didn't you go through with it? What was the point? Is that going to take away the pain of what that person did to me that I entrusted? No. What caused me the most pain? The most pain that was caused to me was by the people I entrusted to stand by my side and just be there for emotional support and have my back. That was what caused me the most pain. And that's why I regret even telling those people, certain people that I entrusted to stand by my side. So, why didn't I report? I'm actually glad that I didn't report when I was raped when I was 15 or 16. I'm actually glad that I didn't, because when I reported the last 2 assaults that happened to me, I actually wanted to see, just based upon that experience, why victims don't report. So I did it. I actually reported both incidents. And you know what? I'll tell you right now that the incidents that I reported caused me more trauma and more pain than when I was raped when I was 15 and when I was 16. When I didn't report it, and I didn't even tell my best friend when I was 15 when it happened to me. I didn't tell anybody. So I honestly regret even telling the people I entrusted that I thought were my friends what happened to me. I honestly wish I never told anybody and that I just let it go, because it caused me more harm and pain when I did tell these people and how they responded. So how did these people respond? When I started to get bullied based upon reporting and people spreading lies and saying I was lying about these things that happened to me, these people that called themselves my friends and that they say they cared about me actually abandoned me. One friend said that they couldn't be friends with me anymore because it was stressing them out. So, how is it stressing them out when it's actually happening to the victim? You hear many people talk about how they discuss their problems with people, and they say not many people want to hear the pains that I've gone through or the stress. That happens often. There's so many people that are self-centered that will take your own problems that are happening to you as though they are their problem. They're not the ones that it's happening to. They say that there's not many people that are good listeners. That actually means self-centered people that don't care. And they only see their problems as though they matter. Your problems, they're going to be the ones that say, just get over it. As I've thought about, is that just saying, just get over it, is you're stuffing those feelings and keep on stuffing them. And then what's going to happen? Those feelings are going to stay there. They're going to come falling out. And it's going to be so much harder to deal with. So, let's talk about the mental health field. I say that the mental health field came about is because there are so many self-centered people who mainly care about themselves. And they're not going to be there for even people they say they're friends with and that they care about. So the mental health field, I believe, are people that are getting paid to help people that are having problems when they need support, because there are so many self-centered people in this world. So many people think when somebody's having a problem, they say, well, get help. Well, you know what? I'm proof that just because somebody listens to your problems and they're getting paid for it, that's not going to solve it. The mental health field is not the solution. They are not what's going to cure the person. People who actually care and want to be there for someone is the people that are actually going to be the treatment to help that person get through that trauma. I personally have had both. I've had friendships and went through mental health therapy. Since I was a young child, I've had therapists, psychiatrists, but believe it or not, who helped me the most? It was people that were my friends, that were there supporting me during those traumatic experiences when I needed them the most. So, what harmed me the most within those traumatic experiences that I've had? It would be actually people that I entrusted that were my friends who abandoned me because, I'm causing them stress and pain based upon my experiences that happened to me. So within the last couple of incidences is I was accused of lying based upon what happened to me, even though the people I entrusted that are my friends know that I was telling the truth, yet they would say, well, I don't want to get in the middle of it. Again, we're going back to having personal integrity and also blaming or shaming the victim for what happened to them. And that's exactly what happened to me. Is people I entrusted actually blamed me and shamed me for what happened to me just by saying, I don't want to get in the middle of it. That's saying, I don't care. That's also saying, you're the problem. You're at fault for why these things are happening to you. Which applies to why there's conditioned, normalized victimization syndrome. And that's where the victim is afraid of this happening to them. So that's why I currently decided and have decided after the past experiences is that I'm not going to tell anybody or involve them, especially if they're my friends. I may tell a hotline of strangers of what happened to me, but I don't want to let anybody who is my friend. My trust for people has gone down very much as to being there for somebody. And it's extremely hard for me to trust people based upon the recent couple of incidents that happened, based upon two people that I had entrusted, which happened to be a friend and an intimate partner, based upon how they responded to what had happened to me. So, why didn't you report? If it's going to cause me more pain, why should I do it? And that's another thing. People put down those that don't report as though they are doing it as being self-centered. But why should somebody have to go through so much more pain because they might help somebody when they're just going to cause themselves more pain? I'm not going to do it. So, that's my topic for tonight. And that's, why don't you report? Think about it. I'm Shelley Rothus, and I'm a different kind of victim. See you next time.